Imagine you're looking to leave the corporate grind.
Yeah.
You spent years in a cubicle or managing a department, and now you want out.
Right. You're looking for that next chapter.
Exactly. Or maybe you're an investor, and you're looking for a new multi-unit opportunity to really build some serious equity.
Sure.
You start brainstorming, right?
Yeah.
And your mind probably goes exactly where everyone else's goes.
Food.
Yes. You think of fast food, drive-thrus, massive commercial fryers, managing complex supply chains and perishable inventory.
Which is, that's a massive headache.
It is. Or maybe you think of home services, like roofing fleets or plumbing trucks, dispatching technicians at 2 in the morning.
Right. The traditional, highly tangible models.
Yeah. But what if the most intriguing opportunity on the market right now isn't in the business of selling burgers or patching roofs?
Okay, color me intrigued.
What if the real opportunity is in the business of selling self-confidence?
Wow. That requires a complete paradigm shift when you look at it that way.
It really does.
We are so conditioned by the traditional market to think of franchising strictly in terms of, tangible commodities or physical labor.
Right.
But the service economy, specifically the highly personalized, high-touch service economy, is where we are seeing some, incredibly compelling business models emerge right now.
Which brings us to the subject of today's deep dive. A Million Monarchs.
Ah, yes.
It's a highly specialized lifestyle franchise operating in the boudoir photography space.
A very unique niche.
Really unique. And our mission today is to unpack the psychology behind their brand, their operational blueprint, and the investment profile of this specific franchise model.
Because it's not what you'd expect.
Not at all. We want to help you evaluate if this is the right vehicle for your own entrepreneurial goals. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Well, to really evaluate a business model like this, you have to look past the surface level of what they do and drill down into the mechanism of what the consumer is actually buying.
Right, it's not just clicking a shutter.
Exactly. If you just look at the category and say, oh, it's a photography studio, you are completely missing the underlying value proposition that makes it a scalable franchise.
Because A Million Monarchs isn't just selling photographs. They're selling a transformation.
Yes.
The brand was founded by a woman named Marina in Messina, New York. And the entire focus of the business is on helping women who struggle with self-image.
Which is a huge market, honestly.
It's massive. And the service itself is literally framed as the Monarch transformation. The language they use isn't about, aperture or lighting.
It's emotional.
Very.
Yeah.
It's about helping clients break out of their cocoon, face deep-seated fears, and walk away feeling basically magazine-worthy.
What's fascinating here is the consumer psychology at play.
Yeah.
In a crowded franchise market, emotional resonance is the ultimate differentiator. It builds a kind of fierce brand loyalty you just don't see in standard retail.
It makes total sense because it's so personal.
Exactly. When a business model addresses a deep vulnerability, like how a person fundamentally sees themselves, price resistance drops significantly.
Oh, interesting. So they aren't haggling over the cost of an 8x10 print.
Right, because the customer hasn't just received a physical product. They've experienced a personal breakthrough.
That makes me think of an analogy. It's almost like a high-end spa experience crossed with therapy.
Oh.
The camera is just the tool, but the actual product delivered is empowerment.
You're close, but I'd honestly take it a step further.
Okay, how so?
A spa is designed to relax you, right? To remove you from your stressors. But this model intentionally asks the client to be vulnerable first, which is a much harder business model to pull off.
Oh, that's true. You have to really put yourself out there.
Exactly. You aren't competing with a local freelancer with a camera. You are operating in the wellness and personal development space. The physical photographs are merely the tangible artifacts of that emotional journey.
And the physical environment they've designed completely supports that vulnerability.
It has to.
Yeah, the studios are actually called the Babe Cave. They feature this proprietary dark glamour design, style-like sophisticated furnishings, very specific mood lighting.
It's very curated.
Super curated. Bright Hollywood lights for the glam process, and it is explicitly marketed as a strictly judgment-free zone.
See, that environmental control isn't just for show. It's an operational necessity for a franchise.
Anymore.
By creating a highly specific templated atmosphere that signals luxury and psychological safety the moment the client walks through the door, you elevate the perceived value of the service.
You set the tone immediately.
Right. You are engineering an environment where someone feels safe enough to let their guard down.
But wait, standardizing a vibe, like selling confidence sounds amazing, and creating a luxurious babe cave is a great hook. But how do you standardize an emotional, artistic experience?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right, because if you're an investor looking to scale a business, art is usually the enemy of scale. If a business relies entirely on the unique artistic genius of one individual photographer, you can't franchise it.
You've hit on the central challenge of any service-based franchise.
Yeah.
How do you scale the unscalable?
Exactly.
The genius of a robust franchise model is that it must systematize the art. It has to break the magic down into a predictable, repeatable pipeline that an owner can manage without needing to be the magician themselves.
And A Million Monarchs does this through a highly structured, four-step monarch transformation process.
Right, they break it down.
Yeah, they've taken the entire client journey and broken it into 4 distinct phases. Step 1 is the free clarity call.
Crucial step.
And looking at the materials, this isn't just a booking call where you take a credit card and pencil them in.
No.
They are vetting the client, getting to know them, setting expectations, and walking through the details.
Think about why they do that from a business perspective. In most service businesses, you take anyone who has the money, right?
Right, cash is king.
But here, that first step is a vital operational safeguard. By vetting clients up front, you ensure that the people walking into the studio are actually the right fit for the culture of the business.
Oh, because if someone is negative or...
Exactly. If someone is bringing toxic energy into a judgment-free zone, they ruin the product. The clarity call protects the culture.
That is brilliant. Then we move to step 2, which is glam prep.
This is fun.
Yeah, the client arrives at the studio, and licensed hair and makeup professionals take over. They highlight the client's natural beauty right there under those bright Hollywood lights.
Notice the phrasing there, though. Licensed professionals.
Right.
As an owner, you aren't the one doing the hair and makeup. You are hiring specialists.
You're managing.
Exactly. This shifts the franchisee's role from being a technician working inside the business to an executive managing the team that delivers the experience.
Which leads into step 3, the private photo shoot. This is the core experience in that dark glamour studio.
The main event.
Yeah. And their messaging here really stands out. Like, they emphasize that every scar and mark is a hallmark signature. It's about celebrating the journey, not airbrushing it away into some impossible standard.
It goes back to that emotional resonance.
Right. But thinking about the business mechanics of this, earlier you mentioned the dark glamour aesthetic is standardized across the brand.
Yes.
If the lighting, the mood, and the artistic direction are templated, that means you don't necessarily need a world-renowned artist behind the lens, right?
Bingo.
You just need to train a competent professional to execute within that specific predetermined style.
That is the operational unlock. When you template the aesthetic, you reduce the variability of the final product. But, and this is huge, there's a massive real estate advantage hidden in that dark glamour aesthetic too.
Wait, hold on. Let me think about that.
Think about the lighting.
Okay, if it's dark glamour, you rely on artificial studio lighting, which means you don't need natural light. So you don't need a prime, expensive corner retail spot with floor-to-ceiling windows. You could build the Babe Cave in a much more affordable commercial space.
You just nailed the real estate strategy. By relying on controlled artificial lighting, the franchisee can secure commercial real estate with a significantly lower price per square foot.
That's genius.
It completely changes the fixed costs of the business.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Step 4, the ordering appointment.
The most important step for the bottom line.
Right. So after the shoot, the client is unveiled their images back in the studio, and they design their album using only their favorite images.
From an investment standpoint, step 4 is the engine of the entire business model. This is where the unit economics, meaning the revenue and profitability generated from a single customer, truly take shape.
Let me see if I can piece together why. If they are designing the album right there in the studio, that means you're capturing the client while they are still in that magazine cover mindset.
Yes, their confidence is peaking.
You aren't sending them a digital gallery link a week later, giving them time to go back to their stressful job, worry about their grocery budget, and ultimately just pick the cheapest digital package.
Exactly. And what that means on a practical level is a drastically higher conversion rate. Think about the emotional arc of this four-step process.
It's a huge buildup.
Right. You've brought a client in who felt vulnerable. You've pampered them in step 2. You've empowered them in step 3. By step 4, they are riding an immense emotional high. They are seeing themselves in a way they never thought possible.
It's almost like the IKEA effect, but for your own self-image.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Like when you are sitting there, actively participating in designing the album, selecting the photos, you're deeply invested in the final product because you co-created it in that moment of high confidence.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. When you systematize the reveal in a controlled, supportive environment, the average ticket price naturally increases.
Makes total sense.
The franchisor has created a scalable system by breaking an artistic service down into predictable steps. Your job as the franchisee is to manage this four-step pipeline.
Right, you aren't holding the camera.
No. You manage the clarity calls, you hire the hair and makeup specialists, you hire the photographer, and you oversee the ordering process.
You're orchestrating the business.
Exactly.
And because of that high conversion rate in step 4, combined with the lower real estate costs we talked about in step 3, the margins must look entirely different than a standard retail franchise.
Night and day difference.
Which naturally leads us to ask, how does that alter the initial capital you need to get in? Let's look at the hard numbers.
The financial profile of this franchise is really what separates it from traditional brick-and-mortar opportunities.
So according to the data, they've been franchising since 2023. They currently have 2 units, and those are backed by a 6-person team at headquarters.
Let's pause on that ratio for a second.
Okay.
A 6-person corporate team supporting just 2 franchise units is incredibly robust.
Really? That's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest pitfalls in the franchise industry is a brand selling 50 units in their first year without having the corporate infrastructure to actually train and support those new owners.
Oh, right. They just grow too fast.
Exactly. Seeing a heavy corporate headcount early on indicates they are building the foundation first.
Good to know. So they are currently seeking franchisees in all non-registration states and most registration states.
Which is standard.
Right. And for those unfamiliar, non-registration states are basically areas where the regulatory red tape to open a franchise is much lower. You don't have to wait months for state regulators to approve the franchise disclosure documents. You can move much faster.
Exactly. It speeds up your launch timeline.
Now, the total investment ranges from $75,000 to $150,000. And the financial requirements to get started are just a $50,000 net worth and a $50,000 cash requirement.
Those are highly accessible numbers in the franchise world.
I mean, hold on, $50,000 in cash. You could barely buy the commercial fryers and the drive-through signage for a fast food franchise with $50,000.
You really can't.
How on earth are they outfitting an entire luxury Bade Cave studio and launching a business for that amount?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture of the franchise industry, you have to look at what you are not buying.
Okay, like what?
Traditional models require enormous capital expenditures, heavy commercial build-outs, specialized grease traps, massive HVAC systems to handle kitchens.
Yeah, the infrastructure.
Right. Complicated zoning permits, and huge amounts of perishable inventory that goes bad if you don't sell it.
Right. In food or big box retail, you're dropping $500,000 to $1 million, pouring concrete and hanging ductwork before you even open the front doors.
Exactly. But with a lifestyle franchise like A Million Monarchs, you completely bypass those massive infrastructure costs.
Because of the real estate hack we talked about.
Yes. As we discussed, the real estate footprint doesn't require prime retail frontage. Your investment isn't going into walk-in freezers or complex supply chains.
So where does it go?
It's going into the aesthetic furnishings of the studio, your local marketing to drive those step 1 clarity calls, and recruiting your specialized team.
Got it. The capital is deployed into creating the client experience and acquiring the customer, rather than building a commercial facility.
Exactly. And this specific financial profile makes it highly attractive for 2 distinct types of buyers.
Oh, are they?
First, you have corporate professionals looking for their first business. The barrier to entry is accessible, you don't need a massive commercial loan, but the unit economics driven by that premium step 4 ordering process allow for strong potential returns.
That makes sense. And the second type of buyer?
Semi-absentee investors.
Oh, okay.
These are individuals who might want to keep their current career or investments, but want to open multiple units quickly.
Right, because of the low cost.
Exactly. Because the capital requirement tops out around $150,000, A multi-unit operator can open 3 or 4 of these studios for the same cost as a single fast food location.
Wow. And because the four-step system relies on hired specialists, the cosmetologists and the photographers, the owner isn't required to be in the studio for every single photo shoot.
Not at all.
They can hire a studio manager to oversee the daily pipeline, making it structurally designed to be managed from an executive level.
Which is a very definition of a semi-absentee model. You manage the manager, you look at the KPIs, the key performance indicators from the clarity calls and the ordering appointments, and you focus on growing the footprint.
It's also worth noting the agreement details here. They offer a 10-year renewable term.
That's a good chunk of time.
It really is.
Yeah.
That gives you a solid runway to build equity in your location, establish your local market presence, and actually see the return on your effort over a decade before renewal.
Right.
The royalty and ad royalty fees do vary, which often depends on the specific market size and the type of development agreements you enter into. But that 10-year term is a strong indicator.
It shows the franchisor is looking for long-term partners to build the brand's national footprint, not just, a quick turnaround.
We've covered a tremendous amount of ground today.
We really have.
We've looked at how framing a photography service as a monarch transformation taps into a powerful, vulnerable consumer psychology that builds deep loyalty.
Unprecedented loyalty, honestly.
Yeah. And we've explored how the four-step process, from the clarity call to the same-day ordering appointment, turns an artistic endeavor into a predictable, scalable business pipeline.
The secret sauce.
Exactly. And finally, we've unpacked how that operational model creates a financial profile with a much lower barrier to entry than traditional brick and mortar.
It all comes together to form a very compelling picture of where the service economy is going. But I want to leave everyone with one final thought to ponder, especially when you look at the macroeconomic trends of the next decade.
Oh, absolutely. Let's hear it.
We are moving rapidly into a future dominated by AI, automation, and digital commoditization. So many tasks, so many basic services are being outsourced to algorithms or automated kiosks.
Oh, everywhere you look.
Right. And in that future, the businesses that thrive, the ones that maintain premium pricing power and deep customer loyalty, will be the ones offering irreplaceable, high-touch human experiences.
That is so true.
You cannot automate empathy, a business fundamentally dedicated to holding someone's hand, helping them overcome their deepest insecurities, and making them feel seen, safe, and beautiful. That is completely immune to being replaced by an algorithm.
Wow. That really puts it in perspective. You're investing in the one thing technology can't replicate: genuine human connection and empowerment.
Precisely.
So what does this all mean for you? If you're tired of the corporate grind, or if you're looking to diversify your portfolio with a business that actually makes a profound impact on its customers' lives, this model proves you don't have to sacrifice scalability to do work that matters.
Couldn't have said it better.